All right, guys, so I stumbled across this fascinating clip here from Djibouti, which is a conversation featuring black conservatives versus white liberals. And this topic that they're going to talk about, I'm going to react to, is a debate on whether or not Trump supports black lives, which I think is a really funny question to ask, whether or not a president supports black lives, right? Because I guarantee you, if you asked a president, do they support white lives, and they said, yeah, the woke race hustlers of the left would somehow try to say that's racist, right? It's racist to say that you support white lives, okay? I'm just saying. These questions are just funny to me. So anyways, I want to react to this because one of the white liberals that is going to be debating these black conservatives makes a claim that is super wild to me, which is that he thinks that some conservatives like Ron DeSantis actually want to harm black people, right? They want to see harm done to black people, which again is just a mind-blowing claim. So without further ado, let's react to this.
Trump supports black lives.
I think that President Trump supports all lives. I think that he looks at all American citizens as equal. I don't see him doing anything that would make you feel like he does not support black lives. That's, of course, going to lead into the conversation of Black Lives Matter, which was a movement and an organization with so much corruption. Donald Trump not supporting that organization doesn't mean that he doesn't support black lives. It just means that he doesn't support the fraudulent organization that's stealing so much money from so many people to do absolutely nothing with it, nor does he support a destructive movement that is destroying cities, communities, lives, etc. So I don't see why someone would think that President Trump doesn't support black lives.
Facts. You don't have to support Black Lives Matter to support black lives. In fact, if you support Black Lives Matter, then it's probably a good chance that you really don't support black lives, right? I could actually make that argument to you because that organization is destructive to black people in regards to the Marxism that they push and the values that they push on black people. They're pushing destructive values on black people, and I believe it's done on purpose. Okay, I really do.
I've heard him say he knows all the best black people. He has all the best black friends. I do support black people all the time. So sorry, that was a very bad impression, but I don't think Donald Trump wants bad things to happen to black people. So in that respect, I think he does support black lives, but the other side of that is he's not really doing anything. He didn't do anything as president, certainly, to uplift black people.
The economy affects black people.
Yeah, I certainly disagree with that point. One of the biggest things I
What does he do for the
supported
economy?
personally. Well, yeah, we don't.
What has he done for the economy? Yeah, the best economy that we've seen in a long time. The Tax Cuts and Job Act, rolling back unnecessary regulations, having low gas prices because Trump actually has policies that are encouraging fossil fuel production and energy output in this country. Again, these are the things that Trump did in order to help the economy. If you want to talk about other specific policies that Trump may have done to quote unquote help out black people, you can look at the First Step Act. You can look at Opportunity Zones, which was a tax incentive for investing in low-income communities. Again, there's a few NFL players that have taken advantage of this. Okay, there are black entrepreneurs that have taken advantage of this. There are plenty of things. Okay, HBCU funding. There are plenty of things that you can say that Trump has done to quote unquote help out black people. But I think that Trump's primary job as president is not necessarily to help out one specific group of people, but to uplift all Americans. And I think that uplifting all Americans is best for everybody. And I think that that's what Trump focused on the most. And I think that black people benefited from that, right? That's why I believe. Because all of these policies didn't just benefit black people. I guess you could say HBCUs did. But all these other policies, First Step Act, Opportunity Zones, etc., they didn't just benefit black people. Now, they may have had a disproportionately positive effect on black people, but it wasn't just for black people. They also helped out everybody else as well, too. They were just good policies.
We'll get into that one later. One of the biggest things he did is he secured permanent funding for HBCUs, one of the largest increases we ever saw for HBCUs, personally done by his administration, among many other things. The First Step Act, which, you know, there's a lot of debate about whether it was really the best thing to do, but that was definitely a kiss of love to the black race. Freeing Alice Johnson for menial drug crimes she committed in the past that had her locked up. She did not get to see her family for years.
Yeah, but that's not like, okay, I did say I agree, but
yeah, but that's not like, oh, well, that's not like what? That, again, this is what happens when your brain leaves the MSNBC airways, right? And you hear other things that you normally don't hear, okay? He probably had no clue about any of this stuff. If you look at his hat, he has Hunter Biden 2024, right? This guy might be off that Hunter Biden, and I think that this is going to be confirmed with his comments that are about to come up here.
I agree in the sense that Donald Trump doesn't literally want bad things to happen to black people, like I think a lot of conservatives do. So I think that
this guy thinks a lot of conservatives want bad things to happen to black people. Again, this is your brain on MSNBC. You can only get this. You can only think something or believe something like this, again, if you're watching MSNBC, Joy Reid all day long. Again, I'm shocked by this statement, right? Just like everybody else.
that he just says the most yeah, I do think that. I think he says the things that will get him elected. So I don't think that he has any personal grudges against most people. He just says the most popular thing. So I think like Ron DeSantis would be somebody that I think actually wants black people to be hurt. So by that
Ron DeSantis is somebody that he thinks actually wants black people to be hurt. Is that why he showed up to Jacksonville to support the black families and the HBCU that was caught up in this mass shooting that was done by a racist, right? Because, Ron DeSantis actually wants to hurt black people. Again, I wonder what evidence does he have to back up that claim? Is it because Ron DeSantis said that when the looting starts, the shooting starts, right? Is that what he means by he wants bad things to happen to black people? Because Ron DeSantis actually wants to enforce the law. He doesn't want to allow people to loot and rob and steal businesses out of business just because there was a natural disaster. Is that what he means? Again, these people, the things that they believe is just, it really blows my mind. It really does. They're brainwashed.
standard, yeah, Donald Trump supports black lives by leaps and bounds.
You think Donald Trump says the most popular thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Then why do so many people hate him?
He got elected as president.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He didn't win the popular vote neither time.
That's a
That's
liberal
what your
talking
side
point.
loves to say.
That's
Yeah.
a liberal talking
I'm
point.
helping you here. I'm trying to see the logic in this. Obviously, he says things to be elected as a politician very similarly to how Joe Biden did, except Joe Biden actually has a history of racism.
If he said things that people didn't like, he wouldn't have been our president.
So you like everything that Donald Trump says? You think everything he says is popular?
I love a lot of the things he says. I think he's hilarious. When he said big water, that was one of my favorite quotes. Big water.
Water, big water, ocean water.
He has the funniest one-liners, so I love a lot of the things he says. As far as policy, he sucks, but...
I'm just shocked you're wearing a Hunter Biden hat. He likes a different kind of one line.
Oh, I know, conservatives love talking about his...
No, Coke. It's different. Coke, not Coke.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this guy is off to Hunter Biden, right? I think this guy is off to Hunter Biden. Now, in the rest of this interview, which you guys are more than free to watch yourself, or this conversation, they're basically going to talk about how Trump is racist and all this other stuff. I don't think that Trump is racist, okay? I mean, I don't think a racist would be out hanging out with black folks and, being seen with black people, taking pictures with black people, right? Doing some of the things he did in his presidency that positively affected black people. I don't think that Trump's actually a racist, but then again, there's some people's minds you can't be changed. In regards to his policy, I think that he attempted to uplift all Americans. Okay, I do think he actually did throw some bones to black people. He went further than Obama did, okay, or what Obama was willing to do. And again, Trump is supposed to be a racist and Obama's supposed to be a liberal savior, right? He's supposed to not be racist, I guess, right? But again, it's just funny to me how delusional some of these liberals are, where they really believe that conservatives want to harm black people or they want bad things done to black people. No, what conservatives want is to move past the race conversation and move on to a more colorblind and meritocratic society. However, we can't because, you know, the left, they keep wanting to have this conversation about race. Everybody's racist that they disagree with, right? Anytime any white person criticizes somebody that's not white, oh, he's a racist. Okay, this is coded language. It's a dog whistle, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, well, again, this is why we can't move past it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.